So, hello, come on in. We're just getting started.
Okay.
So, once you are listed, which I think everybody in this room has been, except for me, listed as the instructor of record in the SA system, this processes overnight and it creates a shell for you inside of Blackboard. We have created a UMBC master template where we have put in information for you and for your students, say about Blackboard, different access to different tools in different areas of the course on your course menu. And I just want to point out a few of these things so that you can point them out to your students. Some of these things we have to do by law, like accessibility, talking about where we're getting resources from. The first thing, this is our template. This is what your course manual will look like. This should look very familiar to you in your shell, unless you have already become a Blackboard expert and you have actually started changing things. So under the Start Here area, you will find this Blackboard student orientation module. So since most of us will be working with first-year students, it might be best to point them in the direction of this so that they can familiarize themselves with Blackboard and just navigate some of the features inside of Blackboard. We also recommend that as an instructor, especially if you're customizing this, meaning you're changing things or you have specific items or things they have to do, like they have to do journals weekly, that you record a course orientation video that shows students the course menu, where to find things, talks about some of the requirements, how they're going to be graded, just gives them a basic overview of the course. No more than 5 minutes long. So first thing I would point them to is this Blackboard student orientation module. Then some of the technical requirements. Is your browser ready for Blackboard? You know, we get RT tickets and likes.
I have a question right now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
Who takes this? This says English 100Y,
Yep.
but I'm not one of those people. And those two people are not my cohorts.
So that's your.
That's the class.
Your, yeah.
There are two English 100Ys. Unless someone screwed up.
We'll have to look at that.
Yes, but
I'll
that's not mine.
Well, just go ahead and click on that one.
Okay.
So if you want students to do a browser check to make sure that their browser is ready for Blackboard, we also provide information about what computer they need. These are some of the questions, the general questions that they're going to ask. You know, where do they get help, technical support, and some of our privacy policies. So that's all built in for you. You don't have to, you can talk about it in class, but you can also point them in the direction of Blackboard and say, hey, it's all there for you. Just go read it. You've told them about it. We've supplied them with the information. Accessibility. This is a big deal nowadays. Letting students know where they can go if they need special services in class. Students coming from high school with IEPs or 504 plans who've had accommodations throughout their K through 12 career, and now they're in college and we don't have those sorts of accommodations here, but we can offer them some support. We put in the information about where student support services is. Yes.
And then Virginia just sent out the blurb that you have to put on your syllabus for student support services.
Who she sent it? All of us?
It's not all the instructors.
She did?
She did.
Virginia, it was piggybacked off of Layla's IHU training follow-up.
Oh.
I didn't get that either.
And quick question.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I wasn't here from the beginning, but I'm just trying to make sure how to get to this.
This is just our template. Or do you have your shell?
I don't.
Okay. So you're
it's
not.
something that I have to create, or I have to.
No. You're going to get listed as the instructor of record. What class are you teaching?
Actually, I think I haven't then. Science 100Y.
Right. So click on that. That's your shell. And yours should look very similar. It should just actually look just like this if you haven't done anything to it.
Thank you.
So make sure that you're telling students about accessibility and where they can find support. Blackboard has a statement about their accessibility information. There's something here about netiquette. So if you're having students do postings like discussion boards, or you want to make sure that they're not, when they email you, they're not saying, hey, that kind of stuff. You're kind of pushing them to be more professional in their nature of writing things. So these things are available inside your course shell if you need them. And I would definitely maybe include this as part of your course orientation video to the students so that they can go through and look at these resources. Are there any questions so far? Okay. So some of the general things I'll say about Blackboard that you can do, you can post announcements. You can post information letting students know if something has changed, if a test is coming up or something, a paper is due, you can create announcements. You can post an area where students can submit assignments. You can give them tests and quizzes online. You can have them post journals. There's wikis, there's blogs. There's a variety of different tools that you can use inside of Blackboard for your students to engage in the content, and this can supplement your face-to-face instruction. Personally, I'm making mine more hybrid in the fall. Since my class only meets once a week, they are going to be doing the work outside of class, and inside of class is going to be focused on answering any questions that they have about the content or the information that I have on Blackboard. And then we're going to do more interactive activities in class, like maybe go, visit the library. Something in class time is really going to be used more for like group stuff and getting to know them type activities. So you don't have to do that. That's my own personal preference. You can set up your Blackboard to supplement your face-to-face instruction. So say you had a certain topic you were discussing in class, like writing. Maybe you post some writing materials or resources that they can access through Blackboard. Or you post your PowerPoint presentation that they can go back and review. Or you have... I did that the first time I came here. And I went here. So it was like... so you can... It's totally up to you how you want to design it for the students and how you want to deliver your course content. Okay, so let's get into some of the specific questions you have. So we'll talk a little bit. We'll let everybody, if you have questions, and then I can demo some things up here, and then we'll save time for I can go around individually and help you basically with things that are just tailored to you or your content area. Does that sound good? Okay. So any general questions about Blackboard? Yes?
So very quickly, can I look at the Blackboard as students would be looking at it?
Yes. So I can't see that in the template. So if you're inside of your course shell, and let's say you added like an assignment, there's a little eye icon right here.
Yeah.
I'm very short. If you click on that, it's going to go into student preview mode.
Okay,
Yeah, so that allows you to see the course as a student, and it's another great way to check if you've made an assignment available and you want to make sure the students are seeing it. Just double check yourself. You can click on that student preview button. Great question. Any other ones? So that's the student preview.
I'm sorry, and I'm trying to exit out of it, and it gives me this window saying delete the preview user and all data.
Right. So basically, it puts you in as a pseudo student.
Mm-hmm.
So if you wanted the data that let's say you submitted an assignment.
Right.
If you wanted the data to stay there, keep it there. Usually you don't, so just delete it.
Oh, I see. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. It'll have your name in the grade center and then preview user next to it. You're welcome. Any other questions? Oh, come on. I know there's
Are
one.
you going to go into the specifics, like if you taught or of copying information?
Yeah, I can go
you
through.
copy, like if you taught, like I taught American Studies 100, and then I taught Asian 200.
Mm-hmm.
I know how to copy specific documents, but is there any way to copy like entire sections since they're not labeled the same thing?
Like, you mean like just so if I wanted to just copy my learning modules area, is there a way to just copy that? Yes. But under the learning modules area, if I just wanted to copy module 1, you can, but it requires a little bit more concentration, I shall say. When you're doing a course copy, so if I said copy this, I could pick the course I wanted to copy it into. I use that little drop down action arrow in Blackboard, and I can pick where I wanted it to go. So if you just wanted to do that one specific one, but if you want to copy your entire course, if you've taught before, we have the course copy tool here at UMBC. If in the past we've used import-export, I'm going to point you away from that. We had some issues with it. So we want to use course copy. Let's say I wanted to copy this into my new shell, which I hope to get in the next few days. So by default, it's going to say copy into an existing course because you're going to be listed as the instructor of record on that course. You're going to browse for that course. So let's say I wanted to copy it into this one. I'm going to put a bubble next to it. I'm going to click submit. And then it's going to give me some copying options. So this is where you select what you want to copy. Most of the time, instructors just click select all because they want all their content. Don't copy enrollments because then you're going to have old enrollments with new enrollments. So we don't want to do that. And then once you click submit, it goes into a process, and then you can go to the new course and you'll see it's running. And then Blackboard will send you an email once it's been copied over, and it's usually fairly quick, depending on how big your course is, meaning how much stuff you have in it. Another thing that's important to note, and I mentioned this when we were in the round table or when we were talking, is making your course available. Don't make it available until you're ready for students to see it, because they will explore and they will be like, where is this or where is that? And be trying to find things. So we have the building block quickly, and I'll highlight this tool. So under quickly, it should be on the left-hand side of your screen if you're on the My Blackboard tab. So you have to be in the My Blackboard tab in order to see quickly. You'll see your list of course or courses that you're enrolled in as the instructor. When you want to make it available, let's say this one was off and I'm ready to deploy it, just simply click that on button and the course is now available to your students. You as the instructor will always see the course. So if a student emails you and your course is unavailable, you're like, but I see it. You'll see it because you're the instructor. So just make sure that when you're ready, you turn those courses on so that the users can engage in it and see it.
Can we edit that?
Can I turn it off if it's supposed to be off?
Yeah. So you would just click the button and turn it off.
Can we edit my courses?
Meaning, what do you mean edit?
Well, there's some stuff when I was a student, which was
yes.
history. Can I get rid of that?
What you can do, we archive things every 2 to 3 years, but there's a little widget up here on the top right-hand side.
Yes.
Manage my courses, and where it says course name,
got it.
If you uncheck it, the ones you don't want to see, and then hit submit, you're good? Okay.
Okay, still have to read this too. Cool. I thought I had something else to do.
Is anybody teaching more than one IHU? More than one course? Okay. Then I won't talk.
I have 2 on one, but it's not one.
Okay. So if you're teaching more than one course, you can quickly also allows you to post announcements and send emails to more than one course at a time, simultaneously. And also, if you have stuff you're adding in Blackboard, like assignments and discussion boards that are graded, it'll show you what needs grading. And if you click on it, it'll take you to.
Where do you find the quickly tool?
The quickly is under. If you're at the top, you're under the My Blackboard tab.
Oh, under courses.
And you won't have anything listed because we're not.
I'm just working in my dev shell.
Yes.
And then I'll be able to copy when I am
correct.
Correct. Okay. Well,
Yep, you're fine. So if I needed to grade items and these 47 items need grading, I can just click on that and it takes me to the needs grading area of Blackboard where I can start grading stuff.
Okay, let's look at the wrong class. Okay, that's good. That's good.
How do we set up a grading structure?
Great question. So somebody else has it. So you guys want to? Are you ready for the grade center?
I have the 7 items need grading, which looks like it's from a different, like from last time I taught, but when I click on it, nothing shows up. And
Yeah.
it says that nothing needs grading.
Maybe it didn't update. I'll come look at it, but I'm not sure. All right, so let's talk about the Grade Center, because the Grade Center is fun.
How do you get there?
So inside of your Blackboard course, and
Shows them
at the
mine.
bottom of your course menu, you have an area, we call it the control panel, the course
Oh, yeah, I
management
saw that.
area, and instructors have access
Grade
to
Center?
the.
Okay, got it.
Yep. So you would click on the Grade Center, and you would choose the full Grade Center. And then what's going to happen? I'll go into a course with enrollment so you can actually see what the.
There's students there, but it's not my class.
Let me see. I'll go into our sandbox.
Is this an issue for Layla? Takes my class?
Whoever is the scheduling coordinator in the department that you're teaching, it's their job to put you in the right class. So here's this is our UMBC sandbox, our instructional technology sandbox. We have users enrolled. What you'll see when you log in, you'll see the last name, first name. The last access is when they'll actually last access the course. You'll have two different total columns here, weighted total and total. If your course is based off of points, which most of us probably are we're not doing weighted grades in an IHU, delete the weighted total column because sometimes students, if grades go in the weighted total column for some reason, they shouldn't. They get confused between when instructors use weighted grades and total grades because it's different, right? You have a weighted grade and a total grade. So if you're just using that total column, just go ahead and let that weighted total column go. And to do that, you click this down arrow and you hit delete column, and then it goes bye-bye. And in here, you're also, so we have the rows and then we have the columns. So the columns represent any items that are added in Blackboard that have a grade associated with them. So like, see, this is an essay, this is a test. This little icon indicates this is needs grading. And you can see what you have in your course that has grades associated with it. If you hover over an item, let's say the SAFE assignment, you can see the points possible, what category it's associated with, what it's called, and how many attempts have been made on the assignment. Now, in terms of putting in grades, if this is something where students, if it's an assignment that they're submitting via Blackboard, it will show up in the needs grading area. Okay, so this is a sample test that Marianne has submitted, and I can go in, click on her name, and I can grade her essay test. Okay. Now, if it was an assignment, and I'll go ahead and do that because I want to show you an example of an assignment one. Just let me do it. I'll do it as a student. So this is what students would do. No, it's already said I submitted the assignment. Let me exit preview. Let me just create another assignment real quick. And you can decide whether or not you want to have points associated with your assignment. And there's a couple other features I could show you that go along with submitting assignments. Like if you're having them submit essays, you can have the assignment be checked for plagiarism with Safe Assign. Students can either write, copy and paste their submission, or they can just browse their computer and upload something. Okay. So now, as a student, I've successfully submitted an assignment, and now it shows up in my needs grading area. As you can see, it shows the category, what it was, date submitted. So if you put a particular due date on your assignment, like I didn't have a due date listed here, and then you allow students to submit it late, this little late flag is going to show up here if they do submit it after the deadline. So you'll have a late indicator appear there. So I can click on the assignment, and what I'm being taken into is called our inline grading tool. This feature allows you to comment, draw, highlight, strike out. Basically what you would do if in the old school way when people download Microsoft Word and they put comments and stuff and then they re-upload it so that the students can see it, you can do it all inside of Blackboard. So if I wanted to post a comment, I could say fix this. You can go through the document and post information. Now here's, if you allow multiple attempts on the assignment, you'll see more than one attempt here. I can go in, put in the grade, click this little check mark. I also put it in the attempt area just so they have information, and now it's graded. I did that too quickly because, let me go back. There's an area where you can provide feedback to the student. If you're allowing them more than one attempt, you can tell them, let's go back. You can tell them like you need to work on this, or give them like some general information about the assignment or your thoughts on what they did. Here we go.
How do you recommend telling students to navigate, especially freshman students, like how to tell them to navigate if they have feedback?
So
Especially with ones that have
that's a great question. So I would either record like a video that shows them really quickly, or I would point them to the Blackboard help site that should tell them how to see the comments. So when they go into their My Grades area and they click on, so I'm going to go to the assignment. There it is. I'm going to click on the assignment 2. And it's going to render just like it did for you. Like, it'll show them the comments. So you might, the first couple times that you do it, you might have to tell them how to get to the feedback because it doesn't alert them or doesn't say, hey, you know, this has feedback on it. They actually have to go into the My Grades area and physically click on the assignment to see the feedback comment.
Yeah, we had a peer like log into her Blackboard and like actually navigate how to do it.
Yeah, that's a great way too.
But when you say video, you're talking about like a screencast?
Yes. Yeah, like a screencast. Like a quick, like, this is how you do it. And even you could do something, you know, you sound like you've used Blackboard before where you incorporated adaptive release on it that they can't see something until they actually watch that video. Yes, ma'am.
Can you go over how to add your peers to your Blackboard?
Yes. So if you need to add your peer to your Blackboard group, you're going to go under, again, the course management area. You're going to click on users and groups, and you're going to click on users. The easiest way to add someone is knowing their UMBC ID. Not their ID number. They're like my email is Holly3. So knowing that. So you would click on enroll users, and you would do find users to enroll. And you can type in their username and then click. You would probably want them in the TA role, not necessarily the instructor role. The TA does have access to the Grade Center. But just don't make them a student because then they can't help you with the grading. You can also, if you don't know their UMBC ID, if you click this browse button, it allows you to do a search by first or last name. And then you can select them and enroll them in the course.
On the same cast, I'm going to talk about how you remove people from your Blackboard site that drop the course.
They should, since they're tied to they're tied to enrollments, they should automatically be dropped. People that are dropped from Blackboard appear as a circle with a line through it. But I can show you how you just hide them from the Grade Center so that you don't have to see them. They don't get, for data purposes, they don't get physically removed from the course. They're still in there technically, but they're unavailable. They can't see anything. So if you want to, let's say somebody dropped, let's say Tom dropped the course. Like if I wanted to hide Tom, I could just go into my manage area and go to row visibility, and I would pick Tom, and I would hit hide rows, and then click submit. And now he's not visible in my grade center. That's one thing that I help instructors with at a lot of the beginning of the semester, since they are technically, they've dropped the course, but they still appear in this area. That's a process that we're working on so that they actually don't appear in the grade center. They're still there invisibly, but they're dropped from the class.
I don't have a manage.
You don't have a manage button?
Find users to the role.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
we don't have-
Huh?
We don't have one.
You don't have, oh, that's because I'm an admin. And all this fun access. Oh, go to your grade center. I'm talking about when they drop, so go to your full grade center. Yep. You want to manage it?
Okay.
Yeah. So we were in users and groups and I shifted. So I know.
I have a
Well,
one back to the last topic.
Okay.
Because the TA role, what do they have versus not have? Like, if you wanted to help build some of the content,
They can help build. Yeah.
the
They
TAs
can,
have access.
yeah.
So what's the difference between
do you already know this?
They can't delegate grades, like if they wanted to, if you wanted certain people to only grade certain things, I don't think they can delegate grades. I'd have to go back and look at the differences between the TA and
But it seems like a lot.
yeah. So I would just put them in the TA, if you're gonna have them grade or build or look at certain things, you can always go back and change their role if you find that you want them to be more of the instructor, like person.
Thank you.
So first time we coming into making our page, we go to quick setup.
You can, and you can change some of the themes and stuff, the look and feel of the course. When you're first coming in there, it depends. It depends on what you're working on. Like, what's your workflow going to be? Are you adding your syllabus? Are you adding assignments? It depends on like where you want to start when you come into the course. The only thing that you need to do as the instructor and be aware of is making that course available when you're done with your design.
And how do we do that?
So if you're in the My Blackboard, on the My Blackboard tab, over to the left-hand side, there's Quickly, and the first topic is course
availability.
and you click on or
I
off.
don't know. It's on. It says.
Yeah.
Not my class stuff. Good. I don't do anything.
Yeah, they probably turned it on.
Would we also generally send emails through there, or we could?
Oh no, it's probably off. I mean, I had the button beyond. It's probably off already.
Yeah, by default they should be off.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you can send an email through. You can do it through here, or you can also do it inside of your course. Because there's a send.
Yeah.
There's a
Send
send
email
email
is
tool.
much
Yeah, either way is fine. It works the same way. Bye. Okay. Feel a little bit more comfortable? Any other questions?
So when you're showing us that example of the assignment
Yeah.
and the late flag, what if you say that you don't accept late assignments? Will it just go ahead and say it's 0, or you have to go back and plug it in?
It will. You have to go back and plug in the zeros. It doesn't automatically. It'll just have a dash in the Blackboard Grade Center. So after you grade everybody else's, I just go back and I just put in the zeros for people.
And you can just manually do that.
Yes. Just like if you're typing in like a spreadsheet, you just go to their row and just type in 0.
What's an exempt grade?
That's a good question, and I'm not familiar with that.
I exempt grades. Let's say whenever I teach, I do 5 points for attendance and 5 points for participation, and I tell them very rarely will I exempt all 10 of those points. I will exempt your 5 attendance points, but you have to do something to make up those 5 participation points.
Gotcha.
So I will exempt those.
So it's not included in the overall total.
Yeah. So all of a sudden their attendance points will then drop down to being out of 50. It will be out of 45. That particular student, it'll be out of 45 instead of 50.
So how do you do it by points? Did you talk to your instructor, your content instructor? Did you decide to do that, or you just did it?
Well, so most time whenever I teach, by the times I've taught, they said, hey, your grade is going to be 15% of their final grade.
Okay.
You can decide how you make up that 15%. And so then I just have said, hey, I want to make sure you're talking in class and it's a discussion. So your attendance grade is not just going to be about attendance. And so I make that clear at the very beginning, and they can see for every class what they got for attendance and what they got for participation, and it makes them actually talk and participate in class because they're seeing it each day in Blackboard, each week in Blackboard. But all of a sudden, if someone says, "Hey, my car broke down," "Hey, something happened," I'm saying, I made that very clear at the beginning. I'll exempt your attendance points, but you have to do something to make up your participation. We have some activity in class where you can do something to make up those 5 points.
That's good. Yep. With weighted grades, it's a little bit easier to do those dropped, and you can select certain columns. Like if you have quiz, let's say 3 quizzes, you can select those columns and just say drop the lowest. It is a little bit easier to set up with weighted grades. So, but if you wanted to do that, I can help you set that up. Or you can use that exempt feature too.
Are you trying to talk about how to upload, like how to use the rubric?
Sure, I can do that. Yep.
Or with the writing.
Yep. So when you go to and I'll just do this. I'll do this from the beginning. So in Blackboard, when you go to set up an assignment, I'm in a different class, so obviously the course menu has changed. So if you're under your assignments area, the way you set up an assignment, you're going to click on this assessments, and you're going to choose an assignment. You're going to give this assignment a name. Let's just do assignment number 3. Any instructions you have for the student, you can either type in the text editor here, or if you have instructions already written up in Microsoft Word or available in PDF form, whatever, you can browse it and you can attach it to the assignment. Put in your due date if you have one for the assignment, and then the points possible. And then underneath the points possible, there's this area, that's called add rubric. Rubrics are really an efficient way to grade your assignment and let students know what you expect of them. So under add rubric, you can click on create a new rubric, and it'll bring you into this window where you can give your rubric a name. So if this is a writing rubric, you can have a description with it if you want to. By default, it has certain certain rows and columns set up, but there's different types. So you can have a no points one, a points range, a percentage and a percentage range, and it's all based upon what the assignment is doing or what you want students to do. So I'm just going to go for the no points one because that's easy. You can edit and add columns and rows, and once you input this information and you click, so I'll just type in some stuff.
And we use the rubric that was handed out.
Yeah, you can definitely use that in place of this. You can actually, where I had that browse, you can add a rubric there. The advantage that adding a rubric through Blackboard adds is when you're in that inline grading area, you can just see the rubric and just grade it based off of the rubric, and then input the information. So once I click submit, this rubric is now associated, you see, with the assignment. Show rubric to students. I want to click a yes. I want to show the rubric to the students. So again, they can go in that My Grades area and they can click on the assignment and they can actually see the rubric. And just know that any rubrics you add throughout the course, and if you do a course copy on other courses, they're going to transfer over to other courses so you can use them later on. And they'll be, like this writing rubric could be used for all the writing assignments. And it'll be available to add if I was creating another assignment. For the submission details, is this going to be an individual submission, a group submission? Don't worry about the portfolio thing. We're not really using portfolios here yet at UMBC. How many attempts are you going to give them on the assignment? And if it's an essay or something that you want to check for plagiarism, you can just put a check mark besides this says check submissions for safe assign. And if you want students to see a report that shows, it's called an originality report, that shows them maybe what they might be copying and might need to cite, you can check this too. You can exclude it from global databases and references if you're having them do like drafts of things. You don't necessarily want to check it against that. You can exclude that. Graded options. We wouldn't really use these in IHU. You might use anonymous grading if you want to be less biased in grading papers. Like, we all know if you've ever been a teacher, like when such and such hands this paper and theirs is going to be really bad. I already know that. So if you enable this anonymous grading, it'll appear in the needs grading area, but it won't have their name next to it. And make sure they don't put their name on the assignment. You just have to tell them that. Blackboard will remind them of that too. This delegated grading, this is more for larger classes. With TAs, like science classes, they can delegate which TAs get how many assignments, and then they can, have people grade those assignments.
Is delegated grading only available if you use the rubric?
Oh, that's available all the time. So you could like delegate to your peer, like you want them to grade whatever, how many assignments. How you want it displayed in the grade center? The primary display is how the students see it. Do you want it to be a score? Do you want it to be a letter grade, a percentage? Secondary display is displayed only in the grade center, so only you as the instructor can see it. Like when I set up my grade center with my students' total based off of the percentage 9 to 100 is an A, I use that secondary display to see if it's A, B, C, or D. If the points that they have, where they stand in the course. The availability of the assignment, do you want it to drop down at a certain time? You can track the number of views. Click submit. And now the assignment has been created for students. If I were to put a certain date restriction on this, let's say I didn't want this till display till next week, and then I wanted to come down the week after that. The way you know if something's available is that the icons are colored in. So this is unavailable and it tells you that's available to users. Yes?
Just a question related to that. If I want to do an adaptive release
Yep.
and finish assignment 1 before assignment 2 is released, how do I do that?
You would set it up probably based off if they got a certain grade or if they reviewed the assignment. So that tool is a great tool, adaptive release, and that's more of an advanced feature in Blackboard. So let's say, like, I didn't want them to see assignment 3 until they submitted assignment 2 or reviewed, at least looked at assignment 2. So I would go into adaptive release.
I'm sorry, from the little
So
arrow you want?
yeah, so from that little arrow is like your best friend. Anytime you need to edit something in Blackboard or make a change to something like a column in the grade center or something like you want to change the name of the title in a discussion board, that's we call that an action arrow.
Okay.
So I click this down arrow, I would go to adaptive release, and then I would choose, so I can choose it based off of a grade. So if they have a grade for, let's say, assignment, that might be the best way to do it. They have a grade for assignment 2, and you can put it as they got a 50 points or higher, something like that. You can have a threshold. And then click submit. Then it's going to tell you that there's an adaptive release enabled on this. You'll see it. I don't think they see it.
Right.
So once you grade their assignment 2, then and they get a 50 points higher, then assignment 3 becomes available.
What if I just want to do it on completion? Do I do it
So
on grade?
it's not based off of completion. You can do it. You can say that user has at least one attempt for the item. So you can use that in place of the points. So that would probably be your best, is they have at least attempted it.
So basically, students have already attempted assignment 1 or 2.
Right.
Unless I give them the grade.
Right.
Assignment 3 would not be released.
You can have different rules. You can have like 10 rules on one item.
Okay.
So it's all based upon what you want to do. If you want to associate it with a grade, or if you want to just say at least they have attempted it, they at least submitted it. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm excited you know about adaptive release. Any other questions?
Did you talk about this already? how you changed the background?
Nope, I did not. So Blackboard has an area where you can customize the look and feel of your course, and this is found under the customization area of your course management area, and it's under teaching style. I think they have 25 different themes that you can apply to your course. So you're welcome. So if you have any questions, let me know.
Okay, thanks so much.
You're welcome. You can change the entry point to where the students are dropped into the course. So if you know that you're going to be posting a lot of announcements and you want them to drop into announcements first when they log into the course, you can change that. You can pick a theme, whatever you want. Click on it. Select the menu style. By default, it'll probably do it based off of the theme that you pick. We don't recommend using buttons because those are not accessible to screen readers like JAWS. So we recommend using the text so that the screen reader will read that the button says, assignments, discussions. It's when the screen reader tries to read the buttons, it's trying to get a description like it's a picture kind of thing. How do you want the course to be set up? Do you want them to see icon and text in terms of like if it's an assignment, they see that little assignment icon.
I'm sorry, I might be a step behind. Where?
Under the course management area.
Course management control panel?
Yep. And we're under customization.
Teaching style, okay.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Oliver.
You're welcome. You can attach a banner that appears at the top of your course, like a picture, like this is IHU, whatever, if you wanted to. And then once you click submit, then this theme becomes active in your course, and you'll see it change the background. Just so you know, down the line, Blackboard is coming out with a new interface design called Blackboard Ultra, and it's not going to look anything like it does now. So, and they don't have, I went to Blackboard World in July, and they don't have themes and fun little things in Ultra yet, but that's down the road.
Can you also do it underneath that like little next to the eye?
Yeah, you can do it there too. Yep, you're right. I always forget that that's there because I don't use that area much. Any other questions?
The little videos that you're talking about,
Mm-hmm.
is there a folder of already made ones that make it easy so you can just drop them in instead of creating them?
Oh, you mean for like Blackboard stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can always link them to our FAQ page, and Blackboard they have a new help site that they came out with, so that the students can go. You can go in, and it asks you, it's like, what type of user are you? I'm a student. You're not dealing with a mobile app, and you can go in and actually link students to some of these areas that give them like screenshots or step-by-step instruction. Yeah, this stuff's already made. The reason that we say create a course orientation video is because it's getting them familiar with like your voice or like how they're supposed to go through the course. So you'll find here like, let's see, how to submit an assignment. So, and then there's a video. So you can definitely link to this page. Oh yeah, you don't have to do all that. Any other questions? Everybody's ready to go, wants to set everything up. Yeah, I know.
When students, you may have gone over this,
Yeah.
but when students submit assignments on Blackboard, my plan is to have my peer explain to them how to do that.
Sure.
Set them up to that. Where will I find those though?
They would show up in, you're creating the assignment for them to submit in Blackboard. So it would show up in the needs grading.
So they
Yeah.
submit it and then it would show the needs grading.
Correct.
Where is the needs grading?
You know that area under course management where we went to the grade center? It's the one above that said it's the, so grade center. And it needs grading. And then they would be listed here, and the student's name would be in blue, like a link, and you just
And I don't have to necessarily need to use all of the functions of the grading center.
No, that's totally up to you. There's no requirements of UMBC for faculty to use even the use of Blackboard, but I highly encourage it. I'm a strong advocate for it.
So on the grade center, where will it calculate their full grade?
It will be in the total column.
Oh, I don't have a total column. Oh, never mind. It's just.
It should be one of the first
Why
columns.
do I have 3 total columns?
Did they copy over their grade center information from the last course? They might have done it. So they might have done it from the previous course and then did it in this course. You can just delete the other ones.
Okay, so I can do it.
Yeah. So it doesn't get confused.
So it shows the assignments I created.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yep. You're doing great.
We have, I'm in the comp 101 where we have 130.
Oh.
Well, because we had all sections in on Blackboard.
Yeah. Oh, you guys are doing it like the instructor you're in the instructor shell too.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's ours is
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
I don't even know what, and all students are in one Blackboard for 3 different sections.
Oh yeah. So everything's gonna have. Well, I mean.
Everything's gonna align.
Right.
And so we're all teaching at the exact same time.
Yeah.
At the exact same on Friday. Everyone's doing the exact same thing.
So you would want to set up that delegated grading so that you know
Right,
you're
that's what I'm saying,
grading
yeah,
your
like-
students and stuff
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
what
Yeah.
like we have everything has
Yeah.
to be, and we have 18 peers. They're all going to be spread out. Like,
That's good. That'll help. The delegated grading will help with that.
Yeah.
If you have questions when you get there, let me know.
kind of religious go that area right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so they had this for the students
Okay.
to set up a wiki.
Yeah. So what they do is the students would just click on. They would have access to this.
Okay. And
Um,
they're supposed to make their own.
Right.
wiki?
So that's the example. So they would click on Create Wiki,
Okay.
and they would just do their own.
So they would just do this and then.
Oh, that's you. So go back. Let's go in the student preview mode so we can see what they see. Because when you're the instructor, it gives you different visibility options. So where does it actually tell them where they're going to create the wiki at? Okay, that's good. Let's
I
see
have
what it.
no idea.
So they kind of threw you into the deep end too. Like here's all the stuff to just figure out. What week is this assignment due?
It's just a digital storybook, so it's not in a.
Because there has to be a place where that students can.
Yeah, it's in here.
So what you could do, how to create a digital storybook example. See, this stuff's not available to students. It should be.
Oh, we went out of the student mode.
I just want to check and make sure that the stuff's there. Okay, how to create a. So it does give them. So you would have to, as the instructor,
Mm-hmm.
you would have to create wiki pages for your students.
And
to
then it would
post.
just show up on there? for
Yeah,
them?
it would just show up on there. Let's see. And you could just put in like, I guess.
So I just do the roster, like whatever their names are.
Right. I think that would be a lot to just add in their names for each one, or you can just create a whole one wiki and just have everybody post to it all at once. That might be a little bit easier to manage,
Okay.
and you can look at each of them. I'm
Okay.
trying to figure out how they want this to be done. Like, what's the best tool you can class for besides a wiki? I would go back and ask the person who's taught it before what they actually did.
Okay.
So I'm not sure. I'm not sure where they had students posted, if they put it as an assignment, or if they just made a general class wiki page, or they posted it to a discussion board. I would go back and ask them where they had it posted.
You know what? I think I have. Let's see.
Is there any way in Blackboard for us to